G'day. This week it's all about going from Alice and doing the loop. Now the loop, I'm pretty sure it could be called might be called Lassiter Road, or it also might be called Mineary Road. And that's the loop. Now off that loop, if you wanted to take the four-wheel drive, and at the moment at this time of the year it's very, very rough, you can take a four-wheel drive and end up at Kings Canyon. I didn't do that. So anyway, yeah, I'll run you around the loop. Some great places to go to. A couple of places were closed at the moment, so when you get that map, you get it from Alice Springs or the local caravan park. Get that map and check it out yourself. There, as I said, there's a couple of places closed, but there's some real nice highlights. Anywho, let's go. Good evening. Well, I'm milking the last bit of sunlight that's left in the day. I'm staying out on the MacDonnell Ranges. Absolutely superb. Beautiful, beautiful. Lovely drive out here, and all the mountainsides are really, really good. Great little spot I'm staying in, and it's quite reasonable. So tomorrow I leave here and go to a place called Finke Grove or Palm Grove or something. I'll tell you the details right at the end of it. But it's just so nice. Suddenly the weather, I think it's about 21 degrees, and it's just such a relief. I can get things done. Typically it's been so hot that you start the morning, and if you haven't got everything done by 7:30, you know, daylight at 5, if you haven't got everything done at 7:30, your day's gone because you're just walking around. But it is not the best time of the year to be up here, and that's why the campground's empty, because no one really tends to come up to the Northern Territory this time of the year. They're all starting, the Northern Territorians are starting to go down south, and we're sort of the last of the people coming in. But it's very, very nice, very relaxing. So yeah, tomorrow another little adventure, and tomorrow for the first time I get to do a bit of four-wheel driving. Yay! Well, there it is, Hermannsburg Mission. Great place, definitely worth a little visit. You go in there and just pay your money in, and you go and look at the sort of a big museum, mostly of buildings. So there's the tannery and obviously the church and the residence, and there's a few other places, and it's well worth seeing. I really enjoyed it. This classroom was used mostly for adults to train them up from their Indigenous language to the English language, and as you see in this particular book, all of the entire Bible was translated into a local Indigenous language. Unbelievable. Hopefully you can hear that. That's obviously a recording of the adults in their education phase, probably within this room. In 1874, when the Europeans started coming into Australia and doing their missionary work, they applied for, in South Australia, they applied for an area here west of Alice Springs, because the rumour was there was a lot of Aboriginals here who needed help. In other words, they needed converting. So the missionaries came up here. There was two guys called Pastor Kemps and Schwartz, and those two guys, when they were setting up the area, they found some good water in the Finke River, and so that really helped the establishment of the missionary here. And the name came from the Lutheran church over in Hermannsburg. That was how it got this name here. It was from the German extract. This building I'm in is called the Colonists' House and was built in 1884. 10 years later, when the mission was being well established, they were trying to get more stockmen and builders to come over here from Germany. But the Lutherans who came over here, they were quite keen and okay to do it, but their wives weren't quite so keen. It took 1 month to come from Barossa Valley to arrive here. So even by the time they'd arrived, I'd imagine they would have been not overly impressed. I'm standing out the front of Albert Namatjira's house, which is just out of town of Hermannsburg, where I've been staying. He was born in 1902, and he actually went to the school of the tourist spot I've just been to, which is the Hermannsburg Mission. It's called the precinct. When he was there, he studied tanning. He also, all the things that I was just talking about. He studied tanning, he studied horse work and so on and so forth, and he also studied to be a blacksmith. Then in 1934, a guy called Rex Barnumston, I think it is, arrived in town, and him and another guy had put on a little presentation in the school hall. And that presentation was some artwork, watercolour artwork. Well, Albert was absolutely besotted. He couldn't get over it. So from then on, he became Rex's camel boy. And when Rex would want to go out bush, Albert would go with him and they would paint together. Then later on, he learned quite a lot from Rex as an artist and became better and better. And then in 1934, Albert had his own exhibition. However, the government insisted at that stage that you had to have a surname. Now, Albert's totem was the flying ant. And when the government insisted on having a surname, they asked him about his totem, and he said, oh, what's the flying ant? Or it's quite a complicated way of spelling it, but it was actually Namatjira. So they said, that's it, that's your surname. So from then on in, he would be signing his paintings Albert Namatjira, bracket the flying ant. Now about the house is very, very basic. It's basically that's about 2 metres wide and about 3 metres deep, and there's 2 rooms in it. But quite an historical area to be in, and an amazing story for Albert Namatjira. I'm just headed out to Palm Valley, which is also known as Finke Gorge. There's a camping ground out there, and I have been told and almost put off by someone who's saying, oh, you'll never get out there, you'll never get the van out there. I'm starting to, it's not like me, but starting to stress a little bit, thinking, oh, maybe I will struggle. And with the new car, I don't have a winch, not that that would be a whole lot of use. But anywho, I'm just going to give it a go and hopefully camp out there. Really looking forward to it. Apparently it is outstanding. Well, please don't be put off by it, but what a four-wheel drive trip. Not sure, I think it's only 4 kilometres, but there was a mix of everything. deep sand, rock climbing. Suddenly you're just going over this massive amount of rock, not really being quite sure where the track was and where it wasn't. So if you want a challenge, this is the one. Wow, definitely exciting. And I haven't done the walk yet, so go and check out the walk. I might even do it tomorrow, not sure. But you can see all the beautiful palms, and it's very impressive. I'm at the Ochre Pits, which is about 100 clicks from Alice Springs. And now these were used by the Indigenous people for mostly ceremonial, and they're also deemed to be quite a good resource for doing trades with other countries. Hallelujah, a camel. I'm at Simpson's Gap. This is a great little place. It's just off the road. No camping here, although here's an obscure thing. You're allowed to camp if you're going to do the Larapinta Walk. And the Larapinta Walk is 232 kilometres. So I'd say that your camping gear is going to be here a long time. If that's your thing, here's a good place to start. All that walking and hiking aside, beautiful place. I mean, I've been impressed by some of the rock formations, but this place is massive. Those rocks just go way up. They tower right up that side, they tower right up that side, and you've got your little water area here. You're not allowed to swim here, and as I say, normally you're not allowed to camp here, but a great place, and it's only about 15-20 minutes walking in off the car park. And great news, doesn't matter how bad your hips, how bad your knees are, there's no rocks to fall over, you don't need to do any warm-ups, you're just basically walking on sandy ground, and it's just lovely. So yeah, check that out. I really enjoyed it, and I'll probably have myself a glass of water to celebrate. G'day, top of the morning to you. Beautiful day here. I'm just out of Alice Springs. I'm in the area, not quite over at Uluru and all that sort of stuff. today I'm going to do a bit of preventive maintenance. It's been something niggling on the back of my mind, and it's something you should seriously consider, and that is your wheel bearings on the Caravan. Now you can do one of two things. You can either just drive it and drive it and drive it for hundreds of kilometres, thousands of kilometres, just hope nothing goes wrong, or you can have it regularly checked. Full disclosure, I've never had mine checked, but I'm pretty sure when I bought the van the guy said he had them done. So today at least I'm having them checked, if not replaced. Now if you don't and things go pear-shaped, you might find a wheel wanders off into the countryside because the wheel bearing's gone, and could be a whole lot worse. So it's definitely worth making that check, wheel bearings check on your Caravan, single axle or dual axle. Well, there you have it, a wrap up for the week. Just out of Alice Springs to do the loop. That was great fun. And when you do it, make certain you go to Redbank Gorge, have a little swim in the rock pool. That was fun. Make certain you take your noodle. And then another thing which is fantastic was the cultural experience of the Ochre Pits. That was also quite awesome. Anywho, if you found the video useful, helpful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And until next time, this is Paul Wheel Drive, signing off.